What up? Welcome to the newest episode of Papi's Gaming Show. And today we're going to talk about my top three games I'm excited for in 2025. Um, and then classic what I'm playing, what I'm watching, what I'm doing. Um, After that, we'll go into the community questions on my Discord server. And yeah, let's get started. First things first, though, I need to give a shout out to the PokeKid01. He is currently a member of this channel, part of the Ultra Papito tier. And he also gifted me quite a bit of members recently. So thank you so much. Appreciate you, bro. I also want to thank everyone else that has been a member before or has gifted me, members or any sort of tips and stuff like that. I really appreciate you guys. So yeah. And then even just liking and subscribing. I'm very grateful. Seriously. If you want to get any Papi merch, link is in the description of this video. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's get started on the topic of this video, which is very simple. And basically, I'm very excited for. This year, there's a couple of games that I'm very, very excited about. It's funny because in one of the my live streams, somebody, I forgot who it was making fun of me that I keep buying, or maybe it was on the Discord, I don't remember, that I keep like buying games that I don't play or I don't beat. And like the games I'm playing right now, like I'm playing quite a bit of different games, but I definitely, I hope to beat them, but I don't know how. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Basically, by the time these new games, I'm excited for to come out this year, 2025, come out. But hopefully, I can beat some games soon. Anyways, so I created the top three list. The number three on this list is Elden Ring Night Rain. So Elden Ring Night Rain looks freaking dope. Um, Basically, just looks like a boss rush mode, of current and past and new, like from software bosses from different Dark Souls games. Bloodborne, I think, is even in there. I think Sekiro as well. At least those are like different things that people have noticed that have seen like the trailer and stuff. um so yeah, it's gonna be a pretty epic game. It's supposed to be like multiplayer focused, where you do this like gauntlet of like days of beating bosses, like with buddies. But there is also going to be a single player version, so you don't have to, go at it, with friends. It's not a requirement. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to play it yet. I don't know if I'm going to have a party of committed, Elden Ring players that, want to get together and beat these bosses together. I don't know if I'm going to play it single player yet. I have no idea. Maybe I do both. Who knows? But I am excited for it because Elden Ring is a very, very fun game. From Software is like one of my favorite developers of all time. Their games are so good, so addicting, so just memorable. That's the biggest thing about Dark Souls and like Bloodborne and all that and Elden Ring. They just leave like such a big impact on you that you're always thinking about it. At least you remember it at random times throughout the day or weeks or months or whatever. But anyway, Elden Ring Night Rain. Super excited about that. I don't know exactly how like I'm gonna feel about the like class system or vocation system. Like it seems like it's pretty hard set because like usually when you start a Soulsborne game, at least like Dark Souls and Elden Ring, you can pick what sort of class or job you want to start off as, and then you get those like that equipment and stuff. It seems like in Night Rain, it's even like like um more like permanent, because you could still like when you're playing, if you play, Dark Souls, you could choose Knight or you could choose Fighter or whatever. you can eventually find, like if you chose fighter, you can still find knight equipment later on in the game and basically just become a knight. The biggest difference is obviously the equipment you start off with and then the stats. But in Night Rain, it seems like it's going to be a more permanent like thing. I don't know if you're going to be able to find like, you know, warrior stuff out in the field or anything. I think it's more of like progression, like better weapons, stuff like that. Who knows? I'm not sure. But it feels a little more permanent compared to past Dark Souls and like Elden Ring and stuff. So we'll see. I'm still excited about it. I'm excited to see what it's all about. It seems very fun. And so yeah, I am excited about that. But anyways, that was it for Elden Ring Night Rain. Um, let's talk about freaking my number two, which is actually, and this might be surprising. This is probably like if people know that I'm like Dragon Quest, you know, used to be Dragon Quest Papi. Like my hat is Dragon Quest hat. I got Dragon Quest memorabilia and you know stuff in the back. I also got Pokemon and Fire Emblem and anime, blah blah blah. But my number two is actually Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D remake instead of my number one. My number one, you might know what it is if you've watched my channel or know a little bit about me, but just wait for number one. Number two for now is Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D remake, and I'm super excited about that. I'm still very much enjoying Dragon Quest 3 HD2D remake that came out last year in November. Um, and these two games, which it was funny because when Dragon Quest 3 HD2D remake was announced, which was 3 years prior, basically. They also kind of like Yuji Horii kind of slipped in there, like that they want to remake 1 and 2, and so all of us were kind of like, okay, so we're getting 1 and 2 as well. So that was cool, and I knew it was coming. I just knew it was coming, and so when it got announced, I was like, yes. But we only got a title screen. We haven't seen any gameplay. We haven't seen anything like that. It made it sound like, if I remember correctly, it was going to come out in like early 2025 or like second quarter, maybe like in like the springtime ish, you know, sort of time. So that's kind of my thought, is that it's going to come out in that time frame sort of thing. The first half of 2025, let's say that. And I am super excited because Dragon Quest 1 is fantastic. It's very simple. You're only one character. You're going out, you're beating monsters, you're grinding, like it's a very grind heavy game. But it's also super sweet, super satisfying because it's like a perfect, like it's literally a 10-hour game. You could beat it a little before 10 hours. You might beat it in 8 or 9. It always takes me about 10 or 11 hours from every version I've played of Dragon Quest 1. But that's because I do like to grind. I do grind quite a bit. And so, yeah. And in this version, I'm assuming it's going to take even a little bit longer. I'm assuming it's going to be maybe like closer to like 15 hours. I'm assuming. Because like there's probably going to be a little bit extra content. There's probably going to be more stuff added. And so just, I mean, if Dragon Quest 3 HD2D remake is anything to go off of, it'll be similar to that, because Dragon Quest 3 HD2D remake has new cutscenes, new bosses, and then a new post game. And so I'm assuming Dragon Quest 1 HD2D remake it'll also be the same case, and same with 2. And 2 is actually, like, generally in the Dragon Quest community, if you know, and if you don't know, Dragon Quest 2 and Dragon Quest 6 are the two games that are most hated in this community, or at least the least liked. But for me, I love both of those games very much, and they're higher on my list than they are on the majority of people's. So I enjoyed 2 quite a bit, actually, and I'm excited to revisit 2 in these graphics because it's going to be a freaking joy. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see. And that one is more story focused, or there's actually more story involved compared to the first one. it's also got more party members. It's got like a huge world map, compared to one. And so number two is, oh, and I also believe, and I know a lot of us Dragon Quest people have said this before, but I also believe Yuji Horii, the director or the creator of Dragon Quest, has also mentioned that two is going to have like extra story or something like that. Like two is going to have something at the end that's going to be like a surprise or something like that, or like special or whatever. I don't know. So I am very like sure that we're gonna get more content in one and two. So originally one where it took me like 11 hours, and two where it took me about 20-ish hours. I'm assuming we're gonna add like another 5 or 10 hours to each one of those games. So which is something I'm very excited about. So yeah, I'm still very much enjoying three. I'm not in a rush to see any content for one and two at all. But I am excited for it nonetheless. I can't wait for that to come out. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to live stream it. I still don't know exactly what kind of challenge I'm going to do when I live stream it. Right now, I can assure you I am not going to do a Nuzlocke challenge. Some of you are laughing that I should. I am not going to do it. I'm sorry. There's no way I'm doing a Nuzlocke challenge ever again after this freaking challenge I'm currently doing still for Dragon Quest 3 HC2 Remake. So yeah, for number one for Dragon Quest 1, I'm kind of thinking a couple of different options. One, chat plays Dragon Quest 1, so I will literally input every single input that like that like people in the chat are telling me to input. I'll do that. I'll like control the character going off of what chat is telling me to do. Or I might just like do a 100% run, something classic like that. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but it's going to be something like that. The chat one is going to be chaotic as hell, but I feel like it's different enough and like entertaining enough that people might want to actually, watch it more than like a 100% run, for example, because everyone does that. Everyone does a 100% run on the hardest mode, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I get it's cool. Like it still interests me, but let's try something new. Why don't we do chat plays Dragon Quest 1? So we'll see. We'll see. But Dragon Quest 2, I definitely will probably just stick to doing a 100% run because there's no way I'm doing a Nuzlocke challenge, bro. No way. So, anyways, that's my number two number for my top three games. My number one is, and again, you should know this if you watch me more consistently, is Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time. So this game was actually supposed to come out in October of 2024. But before that, it was actually announced for another date. And so this is, I believe, this is the third time it has been pushed out. And the only thing we know, at least I know, maybe there's been more information I haven't noticed, is that it's coming out, I think they said like spring 2025. So that's the only thing I'm aware of. Again, I haven't really like seen any news or like looked for any news recently. The last thing I heard was going to be 2025, and I'm pretty sure they said spring. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure the game's going to come out this year. From my understanding, it was just that they needed like more polishing, or was it more content? I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. But whatever the reason, if it comes out this year, which I think it will, and I hope it does, that's my most anticipated game because Fantasy Life, the first one, is very addicting. Very, very good. Super fun, super charming, super adorable and cute. And it's like it's just such a good game. It's Fantasy Life is a great game. It came out like 11 years ago, the 3DS version, the first one. I unfortunately for the mobile version that came out like a couple years ago, that already shut down like a year into it being released. I literally remember that when it came out, I installed it and I started playing it up until the point where you can choose like a god, because you can choose to follow like the red giant god or whatever, or the blue one. I chose, I think, the red one. And like after that, like I stopped playing. I literally didn't even get into actually playing the game. And I'm so mad at myself because when I wanted to try and play it again, it was already shut down. So I was like, crap, dude, like I should have played a little bit before it got shut down. But I didn't even know it got shut down actually. So anyway, learned that the hard way. But basically, um, Fantasy Life I, it doesn't even seem like it's the second game. It seems like it's like a hyped up or more advanced version of like the first game because all the same characters are in the game from what it looks like. Everything we've seen shows off all of the characters from the first game. And so it's almost like it's like a well, I mean, we do know it's like you're going back in time because you're fixing the future by going back to the past, right? That's like the whole shtick. Um, but yeah, so but it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't know how to explain in terms of story wise. Like, obviously, there's new characters. The girl who steals time is obviously new. So yeah, I'm just really curious to see what the story is like. But the biggest reason I'm excited for it is because it's basically fantasy life on the 3DS with updated graphics, with a lot of quality of life features, with a lot of like it seems like there's two new lives, so that's cool. That from what we know so far, which so far it's an artist and a farmer. So yeah, and then it looks like there's got to be like new equipment, new weapons, new armor. So yeah, I'm excited. I am super excited to play this game. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I know for a fact that I'm gonna be playing this on the channel. I'm also gonna love to like have people join me on like quests and stuff, hunting quests or whatever. I would love to visit other people's islands because you can make your own island and like and all that. So I'm excited to like try out all of the online features and stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited for that game. That's my number one most anticipated game for 2025. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to learn more about it as well. I keep every time I go on Reddit and post something on the Discord or the not the Discord, the Reddit of Fantasy Life in general. I always see like a new screenshot of 20 Fantasy Life I, blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm assuming it'll come out this year. I feel very confident with that. I just don't know when. So anyways, that was it for my list, my top three games I'm most excited for in 2025. What does your list look like? Did I mention a game that you're excited about as well? What games that I did not mention are you excited about? Let me know. Let's talk about your list, bro. I'm excited. Um, but yeah, cool. So let's move on to the next segment, which is what I am playing slash watching slash doing whatever. Um, and basically right now I am playing at least like four different games that I'm kind of switching off of. Fantasy Life on the 3DS, Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm live streaming that. Elden Ring, live streaming that, and then Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. And I haven't played my personal files since the last time I recorded this. I've just been doing the Nuzlocke challenge. I did one episode of the Nuzlocke challenge a couple days ago, as of this recording, and I finally was able to progress. But I'll explain why and how that's going. But first, I'm going to start with Fantasy Life. So I basically went back to Fantasy Life, the 3DS version, because of my excitement of the new game that's going to come out later this year. And my plan with the game, because it's a big game, there's a lot to do, there's 12 different lives to choose from, and so my goal that I'm trying to accomplish before the second game comes out is to at least master all of the lives. Because when you master a life, you get an anime like party. Okay, you you get a party thrown for you by like the characters in that life that are like the master, your master, the person you report to, and like your other like comrades in that life. There's always a couple that you can like, have join you when you go out into the world and like help you with the quests for whatever you're doing in that specific life. So basically all of the people that are important to that life throw a party for you because you've become a master. And in becoming a master and in this party, you get like a there's an anime song. It's like an anime song focused on that life, and it's in Japanese, but I think the subtitles are in English. Basically, I've already gotten two of those songs unlocked. I've got the Paladin and I've got the Miner. And so, but my goal, as I was saying, is to master all of the lives, unlock that song, that party throne for you, and then I might reach like hero in all of them if I have enough time. And if I'm not playing something else, which is highly unlikely, there's definitely other games I want to play. Like I'm still waiting to play Unicorn Overlord that I got for Christmas. I really want to play that, but I want to focus on trying to beat, or accomplish certain things before I start Unicorn Overlord. And so, yeah. So basically, Fantasy Life on the 3DS is one thing I'm playing. Like I said, I mastered Paladin. I recently mastered Miner. I'm currently on my um I'm currently trying to master blacksmith. Yeah, blacksmith. So I think I got to expert, and so yeah, now I just have to get to master basically. But I'm pretty sure I'm almost done mastering blacksmith. But yeah, my goal is to master all of them, and yeah, that's where I'm at so far. And I'm excited to keep playing. It's such a charming game. It's so much fun. And I literally love playing it. And oh, the other thing is, I still haven't played the DLC. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be playing that game for a while. But once I beat master all the lives, I'm actually going to do the DLC. So yeah, I'm waiting to master the lives before I actually go to the DLC Origin Island, which I heard is like another 20 or 30 hours of gameplay. So I'm excited for that. Super excited for that. But anyways, that's where I'm at in Fantasy Life, and I'm excited to keep playing. The next game I'm playing, and like I said, I'm playing this on live stream, is Dragon's Dogma 2. And oh boy, dude. Oh, I love it so much. It is everything I ever wanted in a sequel for Dragon's Dogma. Like, oh, it is perfect. It is so perfect. And in my latest live stream episode, which as of right now, it's my latest. I don't know if I'm going to live stream tonight another episode or not, or by the time watch this or listen to this, I might have already live streamed it a couple other times. But in my latest live stream, which I believe is episode 6, I had the craziest freaking experiences. Like, bro, it was insane. I literally I'm trying to make it back to Melv. Well, close to Melv. I'm trying to go back to Beden so I can turn in my weapons for a quest that he wants me to find, like soldiers for him and weapons, right? And so I found a soldier for him. I sent him over to Beden, but I also finished getting the weapons that he needed. So I'm going to deliver those. And on the way, it has been an absolute chaotic, just insane journey back to Beden. I'm from Vermont. So I'm in Vermont and I'm heading back to Beden. I'm almost there. I'm so close. But my God, this last live stream was insane. First crazy thing that happened was I ran into a griffin. I mean, the thing is, and you should know this if you watch me, but I love to explore. I love to explore. I love to explore. I love to beat things up and fight and grind and find treasure chests. And so I constantly am exploring. And so a simple hike back to Melv should take me about 15 minutes max, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But no, I am such an annoying explorer, and I just keep finding stuff. I keep finding pathways, new pathways, this and that, like little freaking areas or whatever. And the first crazy thing is I happened to run into a griffin. I was trying to get away from it, to be honest, but it kept following me. And then I found like a secret like cave area with a ladder that I couldn't get to because the ladder was too high, but I still tried to get it, but while the griffin was attacking us. I got to a point where I knew I could not hit the ladder. The ladder was not I was not going to be able to hit it. So I was like, screw this, and I tried to run away again. But I ended up just fighting the griffin, and we went out. And I'm not ready to fight a griffin. There's no like we're doing barely any damage. The only time we actually did damage to the griffin was when it got stunned, and we would like rock its head with like arrows and bombs and freaking just sword attacks and magic. And the good thing is I had like the archer and then the thief were really good at the pawns I hired were really good at knocking the griffin to the ground, and then we would just wail on it. But still, even then, we were not doing that much damage. The funniest thing is we were fighting this thing until it was pitch dark. The funniest thing is at one point, literally the griffin gets knocked into the water, and the water killed it. And the thing is, the water in Dragon's Dogma is like relentlessly like it's like weird. There's like some sort of curse in the water that like eats like pawns and you and even monsters. And I do not know how exactly, but the griffin somehow fell into the water perfectly and it died. It was crazy. It was literally crazy. Like I could not believe it. And so we killed it. And yeah, and then after that, literally right after, there was a freaking minotaur that came and found us and just obliterated us. Like we were able to do more damage to the minotaur than the griffin for sure, and like we actually ended up killing it, but I died. I had to use my wake stone, and all of my party members died multiple times. I had to revive them. I almost couldn't because the minotaur was relentless and ruthless as hell. But dude, it was absolutely epic. Like we finally killed the minotaur. It took forever, but we killed it. Um And after that, we continued onward. We continued onward, ran into skeletons, this and that. But right when I was getting pretty close to Beden's tent, I found another cave. I found a secret cave that I didn't see before. Because basically I noticed like there's a little settlement before getting to Melv and where Beden's tent is, and in that settlement there's a rift stone, but I didn't. And then there's like a treasure chest that you have to like jump the water to get to, and I didn't notice there's a little path going upwards that I didn't notice before, and I was like, huh, I can totally go up there, and I did. And I was like, oh, maybe there's like a treasure chest or something. No, dude. There, it led to a freaking cave, okay? Freaking labyrinth, bro. It was a freaking labyrinth. That cave was huge with multiple floors, and I ran into slimes, and I have officially finally ran into the monster I'm most scared of in this freaking game, the slime. At least currently, I cannot do anything to it. We were only able to kill one slime, and only with like magic, but like it was we could like it killed us so many different times. And then there's parts where there's multiple slimes. I ended up having to just run away. I almost died so many freaking times in this cave. And the slimes did a number on me so hard. But yeah, I was in so much trouble in this cave, dude. There's a lot of saurians as well. And so I kept running into saurians. And again, me and my annoying exploring person of who I am, which I love it. I'm saying this so you understand. Like I know some people probably don't like it, but I love exploring. And so I tried to go everywhere, and I was doing that. And bro, I kept running into more dangerous monsters to the point where I eventually started going down levels. I eventually found this cool looking treasure chest, and a skeleton warlock, like necromancer freaking boss came out. We were fighting this thing, and it killed me several times to the point where my health bar, because the thing that sucks about Dragon's Dogma 2, which I think it's fair, but at the same time, in my case specifically, because I was so focused on exploring, it sucked because every time you die, your health bar, like the limit of it, gets a little bit smaller. It reminds me of Dark Souls 2. It gets a little bit smaller and smaller and smaller. And unless you like rest at a campfire or an inn, it won't fill back up all the way until you do that. And so it was so small. My health bar was so small. And I finally, like, I thought I killed the boss, but it fell off of a ledge, and it fell into where a more dangerous boss was. And I didn't know this at the time, but because when it fell, I started hearing noises like growling and stuff. And those were the same noises the Minotaur made before it appeared. Because before the Minotaur appeared, after we killed the Griffin, there was like roaring and stuff like that. And I knew something was coming after us. I didn't know what it was until I saw that it was a Minotaur. And I was like, oh my gosh, what the freak is this? But, anyways, when the skeleton boss like fell into this cave, um, it definitely sounded like a Minotaur. So I thought there was a Minotaur down there. And I was like, whoa, freak. So, anyways, I kept exploring. Eventually, we go down, and we ran into a bunch of skeletons, blah, blah, blah. And eventually, I made it to the part where I thought the skeleton boss was in. And I also thought it was dead, by the way. I thought the skeleton boss was dead. Apparently, it just fell off and then it like respawned back into like its original spot. But I didn't know this until way later. But, anyways, I go to where I thought the Minotaur was, and it was not a Minotaur. It was a freaking Chimera. And it looks so epic, but it was way too hard. It killed me another time, and I could not beat this thing. It was like way too hard. But the biggest thing is because I just was not ready for it. Like I needed to rest at an inn or a campfire. And I also had way too many items in my bag. I had to leave. I had to just basically I needed to escape. I needed to get out of there, and I needed to just dump all of my items into like my house, and then I needed to come back with better equipment and just because I'm going back to that cave, but I needed to leave. And I did. And I didn't use a fairy stone because I didn't want to go all the way back to Vermont. I decided to run out because I was so close to Melv and Baron's tent. I was like, I'm not using a fairy stone. So, anyways, I decided to just find my way out, which took me forever to get out of that freaking labyrinth. But that's when I ran into that skeleton boss again, and I was like, oh, so I didn't kill it. So, anyways, he's there, and so is the Chimera, and I will be back to freaking annihilate them. But first, and I luckily at the end of the stream, I got to the campfire that's near that cave. Like, I'm going to first turn in all the stuff to Bedin. I'm going to Melv to leave equipment behind and also visit baby girl Ulrika. And then I'm going back to that cave, bro. I'm gonna try and get a better sword, better equipment, and all that stuff. But I'm going back to that cave, bro. And I'm gonna freaking explore it. Every nook and cranny. I'm gonna freaking get everything that's in there and beat everything that's in there. Except maybe the slimes. I'm still not ready for the slimes. Screw those slimes, dude. I hate those slimes. And it's funny because I genuinely love slime monsters, especially from like Dragon Quest. But in Dragon Quest, it's the only series that slimes are adorable, weak, and not necessarily the strongest monsters. But in other games, they are terrifying, especially this one. Anyways, that's where I'm at with Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm so excited to keep playing. I'm so addicted to this game. It's so good. And the graphics are just, oh, gorgeous. Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about Elden Ring. So I also streamed Elden Ring. And in Elden Ring, basically, I got to the point where I got the east side of Limgrave, that map, and I also got the southern part. Oh, wait, no. I'm heading to the south. I still don't have that map of the south. I don't believe. But I do have the map to the east, and then I also went down to I forgot what it's called. The Siofra Riverfront leads to like the underground area, and I just got like the nearest Grace, and I went back up. But basically, I explored all that. I retook the fort of Kenneth, whatever his name is, um, and I was able to get the blood art that I was, or the weapon art that I was wanting for my Uchi Katana, which is called Bloody Slash. So a buddy of mine was saying if that's what it was, and I couldn't remember if it was or not, and it is. So, anyways, I made my Uchi Katana have that weapon art, and so yeah. So now I've got an Uchi with that weapon art. I explored a whole bunch in that area. Elden Ring is also incredibly dense with like things to find and treasure to find, and so this game and Dragon's Dogma 2 just absolutely destroy me with exploration. So yeah, so here we are. But yeah, and then basically I made my way to the south after all of that. There's still a bunch of stuff that I skipped in Elden Ring specifically. But my goal before getting to all the things I skipped is to like take the castle of Castle Morn, I think it was called. The I met up with that blind chick that gives you the letter to try and have her father leave the castle because like the servants overtook it or whatever. But anyways, I'm heading that way. I just got to the Grace or the bonfire that's where right by where the Knights Calvary spawns at night. So that's where I'm at right now at that Grace. But that's basically where I'm at in Elden Ring. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I love Elden Ring, okay? But I might take a pause from Elden Ring for a while. For two reasons. One, I'm just way more addicted to Dragon's Dogma 2, and I want to play that so bad. A lot more of it. And two, I also am noticing that Dragon's Dogma 2 is getting me a lot more views. So, and you know, I'm in this, I love content creation, but I'm also kind of going off of views. And Dragon's Dogma 2, thank God, is getting me a lot of views at the moment. So, obviously, I have to, you know, capitalize on that. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna be streaming more Dragon's Dogma 2, basically. So that's it for Elden Ring. Let's move on to Dragon Quest 3 HD2 remake. So basically, where I'm at with that is I have officially gone solo. I have left all my party members behind, and I have now attempted going solo. So currently, I've gone through the Tower of Transcendence. I beat all of that alone. I did die a couple times, but it's okay. And then I am now currently in the hideout. Oh no, I beat it. I forgot. I actually beat the hideout. I beat Robin Hood already. That's right. I totally forgot. And so now, that's right. I'm about to get the ship. Okay, I did all of that. I beat the Tower of Transcendence. I beat Robin Hood again. I returned Gopal's baby girl. And then I got the pinch of black powder. I gave it to the King of Portoga, and he gave me a ship. I just got to get the ship. I saved before getting the ship. So I finally got the ship. That's where I'm at in the challenge. But listen, I want you guys to know something, okay? I am sick of party members dying and that's why I'm going solo for now. I'm going to be doing the Nuzlocke challenge solo. It's not technically cheating. Although you definitely could make an argument that it is. But it's not technically cheating because my party members aren't dying and they can still die somehow. But basically, and nobody ever said that I needed to have the party members with me. It wasn't a rule. Listen, I get it. It's kind of cheating, but the thing is, I was not progressing. I'm now in a part in the game that I need to significantly grind to get my party members to not die, basically. And it has gotten so much harder. And I have been stuck in this part where, like, I was trying to save Gopal's baby girl, go up the Tower of Transcendence. I was stuck in that part for like freaking days, dude. Like, I don't know how many episodes I wasted of me just having party members die and then having to get new ones and grind them up again to get to a somewhat decent level to go back to that spot and try to progress again. And then I just either don't make it back to that spot because the people die before we get there, or we get there and they die right away. And so I was just sick of that happening. I was like, screw this. I'm the only person, the hero, that can actually revive. So I'm just going to progress as much as possible, get to a point where I can grind party members up to like a strong and viable level, and then I'll get them to join me again, and then I'll continue the adventure. But for now, I just got so sick of my party members dying. So I'm doing this for you guys, okay? I'm doing this for you guys, okay? I need you to understand this. So anyways, that's it for that. Um yeah, that's it for that. So that's it for everything I'm playing. Now, what I'm watching, it's basically the same things. Dragon Ball Daima, which comes out every Friday, which are incredible. This last episode of Vegeta went Super Saiyan 3, and it was absolutely so much fun to watch. So great. And then also Majin Buu beat the Tamagami number one, which was pretty hilarious, not gonna lie. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. And yeah, I'm excited to keep watching that show. Freaking great show, dude. And then Hajime no Ippo. I've been watching that like crazy as well. Like I said, such a great, top tier anime. So good. The only thing that's kind of sucks is that, like, the bad part about the anime is that it shows like nudity. And the majority of the time I watch this show is with my kids. And so I usually am able to skip those parts. Although I don't like to skip even like stuff that shows stuff like that, because I feel like there's always a little bit of, you have to absorb the whole show, like even when there's bad parts, so you can get the full like full concept of the story, the characters, everything. And so I hate to have to skip those parts, but at the same time, if I wouldn't have any time to watch the show if I was watching it on my own. But the part that the funniest thing that happened, the worst part that happened is last week, um, right when Takamura, one of the characters, was watching a naughty video and it showed like a little bit of it, and my kids and my wife saw it, and I skipped it, but it showed a little bit, and my wife got so mad at me. I don't blame her, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's just such a good show. I want to watch it. So anyway, but yeah, so there's that. And then the other show we're watching with my wife every once a week is Beast Games. Mr. Beast does his Beast Games on Amazon Prime. And it's very entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. He's basically a freaking madman, an evil genius. Like, dude, those people suffer so hard. For so many of those challenges, those people suffer, bro. I feel so bad, but at the same time, I can't stop watching. But it's whatever. It's such a good show, dude. It's so crazy. But I'm also really like proud of Mr. Beast. He came from nothing. Like if you've seen Mr. Beast at all or know a little bit about him, like not just his videos but like his journey, it's really inspiring to see how far he's gotten. Like, dude, the guy is like mad props to him, bro. Mad props. And he's done so much good, dude. He has done so much good for people. I mean, it's hard to be mad at the guy. He really is such a good human being, bro. Even though he's kind of evil. But it's all good. It's all good. You can't win money for free. Like there's you know, it just anyway, whatever. It's a good show. But anyways, that was it for my all of my topics. Let me now move into the question segment. So this time, only Adam asked 5 new questions, which is totally cool. Adam West, shout out to you. So let's go through those questions right now. Yeah. Okay, first question. In your opinion, which movie is better? The 1938 version of Christmas Carol with Reginald Owen or the 1951 version of Christmas Carol with Alastar Sim? By the way, Fred Claus came out in 2007 and it's pretty good. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think I've watched any of those movies, dude. None of them. So I could not tell you. So, yeah, sorry. Let's move on. If corn oil is made of corn and vegetable oil is made of vegetable, then what is baby oil made of? Well, first things first, I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't. Is baby oil called baby oil, or is there another name for it? I honestly have no idea. But it's definitely not made of babies. I know you know that, but yeah. How do you feel about certain video games pushing certain political agendas? Do you think this is okay, or do you think it should be illegal to have such content in video games? First of all, I don't like it. I don't like anything. Okay, let me make sure I say this in a way that is not misunderstood. I do not like when any video game or movie or show is trying to push any agenda at all. Um, I feel like there's always when a game or a movie or a series is trying to do that, I have noticed that it's never overall the story, the characters, like it's just not that good. It's never good. And the thing is too, it's like when you're trying to preach to people to think a certain way, like that's not nobody wants that. Nobody feels good about that really, unless you're in that specific group that is trying to be pushed for, you know? Like for example, I'm Latino, right? I'm Hispanic, and I do not expect anybody to feel bad or like for me or my family or what we've been through or what my people have been through. I like one of the things that's hilarious about the Latino culture is like, and the ones that I'm talking about, the ones that did not grow up in the United States, because everyone that grows up in the United States eventually just become like super, like, just super weak-minded, super, just they feel bad for themselves, they accept feeling negative and accept like, oh, it's okay to feel, you know sad and depressed and all that. Like, no, like, you need to try and be better. You need to try and be strong. You need to try and be a better person. Like, don't sit in the past. Try to move forward. Try to progress. Try to become a better version of yourself. Like, this is good for you mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, try to grow. Don't stay in a spot and think that it's okay. It's not. Nothing good comes from complacency. Nothing. So I hate that mindset with a passion. And, Latinos, real Latinos are like that. They don't care that we don't have a superhero that's like about us. There's not like there's Superman, there's the Flash, there's Black Panther, that's black. There's freaking, like Spider-Man and but Latinos don't have that. But I'm cool with it. I don't need one. I'm cool. I love Captain America's my favorite superhero. He's a white dude from the United States. I'm cool with it. I like him because of the person he is, not because of his identity, you know? Like the I that's just how I think though, right? And I think that's the most healthy way to think about things. So when movies and this and that are trying to push like a marginalized group or like a group of people that are not as represented, I'm like, bro, why are you doing this? Like, if that's your true, like if that's what you want to do it in a way that's actually good storytelling and not in a way where people feel like they're being preached to, you know? Like, I am a man of faith. I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I love like my religion. I know we're not perfect. We're not perfect anywhere. No one's perfect. But I don't try and freaking get people to get baptized. I'm not trying to tell people like, bro, you need to get baptized or you're gonna die in hell, blah blah blah. It's like, dude, I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to spread positivity. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. And then people might ask me like, hey, you know, you're a very positive person. Like, how do you think? How did you get to where you think? Like, what do you believe? And that's where I can kind of talk to people and kind of explain or share what I believe and blah blah blah. But I do not expect for people to, I'm not going to push like that to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when people do that because at the end of the day, they're not really trying to help their group. They're just trying to make it about them. Like, people are selfish, bro, and they only care about themselves and they want attention, me, 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 me. But at the end of the day, like, we need to respect everybody. We need to respect everyone, the way they think, the way they act. There's certain things in the world that are not okay. Murder, not okay. Drugs, not okay. Depends on the drug. There's some drugs that are actually good for people, right? Like, we know this, but like, there's many things we all know are not okay, but there's a lot of things that people just have different opinions about, different ways of thinking, and that's not wrong. Everyone has different ways to think or feel about things, and that's okay. We should talk about these things. We can agree, we can disagree, but it doesn't mean that you need to act like a certain way if people don't agree with you. I do not think that is good for anyone. Like, it's just not, because at the end of the day, you're just forcing people to think the way you think. But in reality, do they also agree with you, or are they agreeing with you because they feel pressured to do so, or they don't want to like feel they don't want to offend you or this or that. Like, how can you live with yourself knowing that other people are just saying yes to you because they're scared of you, or they're scared of the way that you're going to act? Like, that's not a way you should live at all. You should never be okay with people just saying something because you want to hear that. Like, no, dude, you need to accept who you are. You need to accept how you think. If it's different than other people, totally cool. That's how you think. Who cares what other people think? Because at the end of the day, why do you care that they care? Like, just do you. Do you is my philosophy. Do you. If anyone doesn't like it, who cares about them? They can just go away. Find people that actually care about you, the way that you care, the way that you think, and surround yourself with those people. Don't try and force other people to think the way you think. You're not going to be happy. You're not. Anyways, I'm going on a rant right now. I didn't mean to do that. But that should be your answer right there. So, anyways, what made you decide to make your PQ card game? So, um, basically, the reason I wanted to make the card game is because I want to make a game, but my true goal is to make the tabletop RPG. And the card game is a way to get more publicity, because basically the card game is going to be much more popular for sure, like hands down. It's going to be a lot more attractive. It's going to be easier to understand. It's going to be funner to play. And so, the tabletop RPG version is going to be more for like hardcore people, which is totally cool. But that's what I really want to make. But the card game version, like the, kind of Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh version, is going to be more like a fun, lighthearted, like you can play with your family, your friends. But anyways, it's a game I want to make to introduce people to the more hardcore version, if they're interested in doing so. But I want to play with my family. I want to play with my friends, my kids, and it would be a perfect game to play with them. So I'm excited to do that. But it's basically just because I really want to make a game. I have a lot of fun ideas. I have a world I want to create. I'll have a story I want to tell. And the card game is a great way for me to be able to get to the point where I can actually do those things and build basically a good audience to be able to do that. So, yeah. Okay, this is my third attempt in recording this podcast episode. You're not really going to notice because it's cut up to be somewhat, you won't be able to tell 100%. But yeah, it's Sunday afternoon. My wife's taking a nap. My youngest was taking a nap, and then he woke up. And the first time I cut it is because my oldest wanted to play the Nintendo Switch, and he couldn't find his, so I let him borrow mine. The second time was because Emmett woke up and Mom was still sleeping. And so, anyways, she woke up now, and so she's with the kids now. I'm gonna finish this podcast episode so I can freaking upload it. Anyways, let's get to the last question. The last question by Adam West is, how many licks of a Tootsie Pop to get to the center? Well, as the wise owl has once said, 1, 2, 3. So 3. It's definitely 3. Like, why would the owl lie to us? Also, we've seen the commercials. If you've seen the commercials, you know it's only 3. So there you go. Okay, cool. Well, that was the episode. Thank you guys for watching. I swear these are getting longer every single time. This one's probably not going to be as long as the last one, but it's still pretty long. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me know what was your favorite part of the episode. And yeah, let's have a great, fantastic new week full of gaming and fun stuff and positivity. All right, guys? I'll see you on the next video /episode/live stream. Peace!